the Madaxeman podcast as we really get onto a roll this week, starting to learn to know what we're doing with recording audio and keeping it half decent quality. There's also now 6 people in the virtual Madaxeman studio, and we welcome Tamsin, the prolific blogger and even more prolific painter, to join us. You might even find some actual useful stuff this week in a rare brand new departure. Sit back, pick up your paintbrush, enjoy the Lockdown podcast. Hello and welcome to the third Lockdown Madaxeman podcast. In miraculous development, we've actually stuck with this for 3 weeks in a row, although we've still got to get to the end of this one before technically we can do that. I think last week we managed to also improve the audio quality, so it wasn't just utterly unlistenable to. And looking on Podbean, and I believe we've had about nearly 100 downloads of the last one and more than that of the first one. So people are actually listening to this out there in wargaming land, and I'm sure there'll be more joining us again soon. So this time we've got an even bigger set of people on Zoom going around. I think we're all on different orders on each other's screens, but if I'm going from kind of clockwise from top left, that starts with Andy Finkelkelkelkel.
Hi there.
Hello, Andy.
I've got another quiz for you this week.
You've got another quiz for us. Excellent. Yeah. We can bring back the fantastic quiz music that I managed to dredge out of a bottom drawer. And then Tamsin, special guest joining us for the first time this week.
Good evening.
Good evening. There you go. And Mr. Webb, you've got no video and you're dialing in from your usual, God knows where it is, zombie-infested high-rise hell.
Yeah, absolutely. I could turn on the video, but it's just trying to sort everything out. There we go.
No, that's good. We're happy with just your voice. Not being able to see you is a bit of a win.
Easier.
Okay,
always a benefit there.
Always a benefit. And Mr. Lee Ray Mayeb, good day. Simon.
Good day. How's it going?
Good. I can see you're still in your kitchen studio as usual, which is it. And then
This is
Dave,
my office.
Dave, you're painting and you're drinking beer yet again.
I'm drinking and painting beer as well. Yes.
Now the important question: consistent.
Now the important question: what's the beer?
Name für Heffenstefener.
Heffenstefener.
Oh.
Did I just see you, again, this is kind of a video thing that isn't marvellous for the radio, but did I see you just lick a brush and then have some beer?
Yeah.
Is that a great, marvellous, is that a great thing for thinning the paint or something like that?
Especially when you're using the purple paint.
Purple paint. Okay, all right. So beer's good. Well, I think we're still working on the... Still taste differently. I think I'm still working on the same beer by post malarkey. So I've actually got Tiny Rebel. I think you talked about how good that was last week. So I've got the Tiny Rebel Dutty Vermont session at 4.2. And in a bit of great planning in case we chunter on, I've got a second can of unfiltered dirty Pilsner, which goes up to a rather wife-bashing 6.5. So it's probably best to have that one second rather than early on in the podcast. So should we just kind of go around the circuit and see if anybody's actually managed to get anything painted this week? That's the usual starting point. Andy, do you want to kick us off?
Yes, I've been painting some War and Empire Vikings. Don't know if you can see them.
They look like tiny toy soldiers, a low resolution through actually not too bad a video camera there. Did you have another shields debacle this time, or did you find the transfers beforehand?
No, because I remember I'd bought these shield patterns. The unfortunate thing is, even though they're the ones made specially for it by Little Big Man Studios, they're actually slightly smaller than the shield. So when you put the transfers on, it doesn't cover the whole of the shield front. So you still have to paint around the edges, which is a little bit tedious.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes with those LBMS ones, it's better to paint around the edges. Otherwise, if they go right to the edge of the shield, it's a bit trickier. I'm not sure I've seen too many that go right to the edges. I don't know about anyone.
There was definitely quite a gap in a number of them. I'd say they could have done with being about 10% bigger.
Oh, okay. All right. Unusual. And so, okay. So that's you. Anything else this week that's got on the list? Or has it been full scale Vikings?
Full-scale Vikings. I mean, those are mainly spearmen. So I'm the way the pack is manufactured by them, it's got about 20 spearmen and about 4 or 5 swordsmen. So thinking I was going to do a Viking rather than a laydown army, I've decided they're going to kind of second rank, and I'll put the inverted commas swordsmen in the front rank. Now, the swordsman thing are mainly guys with axes, so I'm going to kind of mix and match them a bit. So I've got a couple of stands with 1 or 2 bowmen on them, and mixed bits. But basically, if they've got a pile of spears in, they're a spear unit, and if they've got a pile of axes and other stuff, they're a sword unit.
Yeah, I must admit, now I've, as our usual tedious old chit chat about MDF basing and the migration to that, one of my, if we are still here in a year, kind of nightmare lockdown scenarios is my Russ army that I'm thinking is all based on kind of cardboard and thick card and stuff, and it's just thinking it'd be quite nice to mix that all up and replace it with proper neat tidy MDF bases, and then all of the bowmen and Siloi from that I could all mix in and make a much more dedicated Viking army and a dedicated Russ army, because it's just an enormous amount of mixed spearmen who could be Vikings or Russ at the moment. But my God, we have to be here a damn long time before I ever got round to doing something like that.
Give it time.
Give it time. That's true. Right, so Tamsin, what's been, because you're looking at your blog, you're kind of a painting machine when it kind of gets off and running.
Well, I've eased off on painting the last couple of weeks. December to March, I was taking part in a 3-month painting challenge.
All right, okay.
And that just finished. That finished about 2 weeks ago, so I've been taking it easy. Took a few days not painting. Painted 10 Waffen SS for a friend who's who was meant to be doing a Schlossitter game at Salute this year.
Right, and what scale were they? 28?
28,
okay.
28mm for Warlord Plastics.
Yeah.
I finished them, got them posted last week, and they've arrived with him, so that was fine.
Okay, that's really...
And I've started on a project which I had the figures ready about a year and a half ago, but never got around to them. And that's 28mm Wars of Roses army for ADL.
And is that Perry Plastics as well? Or
yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've got the first 54. Started with the men at arms, so I've got 54 figures painted onto the bases. Done most of the basing. Just need to do the flocking and tufting. Painted another 12 figures, but I think were extras to go in with billmen, archers, and spearmen.
Well, just all a mix of those back rank kind of pointy blokes.
Yeah, and just started on first set of longbow archers, so got 24 on the workbench at the moment.
My God, so this has been a crappy week for you, and you've laid off the painting competition where you really go for it, and you've done about 80 28mm figures, really, fully finished from start to finish. Because I'm adding 58, 12, and some longbow.
It's a bit over a week since I started on the men at arms, but yeah.
Okay. And did you do with the 28mm Germans, was that proper full oak leaf, or were they luckily in not quite such bad to paint camo?
It wasn't oak leaf. It was the
probably,
what was it?
Is it Zelt barn or something? So actually, it was just not like I'm going to make some shit up. It was like real camouflage.
Yeah, as close as I could get it.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay, well, we'll have to dig out some pictures of that. Find a way to post them up. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've got some pictures on my blog of them.
Okay. Oh, cool. And that blog is
wargaminggirl.blogspot.com.
Cool. Excellent. We got to promote stuff here. I'll try and put that in the a link to that on the Podbean page. So this means war. This means So Peter, that's set the bar. How woefully inadequate have you been relative to that ridiculous ridiculous benchmark?
I've managed to paint a whole company of 50mm Flames of War German paratroopers. So,
he's gone for the full smock camo and in tinier scale.
Absolutely, and I've even mixed them up to be. I was aiming for sort of like mid to late Italian. So you've even got a mixture of late camo, splinter, and even a couple of guys still wearing their stuff from the desert, plus a couple of blues and stuff. So it's all well and truly mixed up, all nicely set up, ready for a couple of companies of Volkskunde.
Wow. So when you say there's that mix of camouflage, is that a mix of camouflage that anybody can actually see, or is that just like wish list in your mind, really?
I'm sure you can
real.
see it.
I can see it.
It's real. It's real. I can see it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, no, we'll believe you. Thousands wouldn't.
Yeah, I posted a picture, so it's there. It's looking all right. It's
okay.
We're looking at some of the pictures. I've been watching some of the TV with the World War II in colour. With the Italian campaign, you can actually see some of the paratroopers at Monte Cassino and so the mixture of the gear they were wearing. So I was aiming for that sort of look.
Oh wow! Is that a DVD or is it? Is it a DVD or has it been on TV?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
It's on PBS as well.
Is it playing in sequence on PBS or?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's on repeat all the time on CB.
Yeah. On PBS.
Yeah.
So were you like pausing and taking screenshots, Peter, to do that?
Yes, I did that. Plus the old access to a few old books I had with the suitable sets up of camouflage and everything else. It's one of those projects that's been on the back burner for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been sat there with the right information, even the right paints and colours and everything else. I just haven't got around to it. So I finished those off at the weekend. I had today off, so I've started on some Norman Knights I had the War and the same Kickstarter everybody else did. So I've got the Norman Knights to do. So I'm following on behind Andy with that.
I'm feeling that I'm missing out by not really having that many of those figures. It just seems such a regular topic of conversation, but I've been doing some different stuff.
I made a little bit of a mistake. I fixed up the horses and I've sprayed them undercoated white. Then I thought with the Knights I'd be able to do a quick cheat undercoat of metal. Only I pulled out the wrong can, and now I've got a load of golden Knights. So.
Oh no!
No, that's good. That's good. I think you've got 2 lads, haven't you? I was thinking if you've got 8-year-old girls, that might be kind of a good thing. But maybe it's like a fantasy setting or something like that. That could be a win.
Yeah,
or here's an idea.
Okay.
Go over it with a dark black blue wash, and then highlight with a silver or steel.
Dark black blue wash.
That
should take off the gold quite well.
Is that something that you've done yourself then, Tamsin? Or is this a technique, or is this a rescue?
I have changed goldish colours more towards sort of steel colours, like that. If it's 15mm, the wash will take most of the shine off the gold, and also in the recesses, it will blacken it out.
Really darken it. Yeah.
Really darken it.
Fantastic.
Where the gold's showing, go over with a steel colour, steel or silver.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. I'll give that a go. Because
I bought the big box of army painted different coloured washes, because they had like they did a box of all the different colour washes, and that had like a blue tone and then all the sort of dark and mid and all the other browns and things like that. So the bluey black, would you actually mix two of those washes together to give you a bluey black, or do you just think, or is there kind of a specific wash that would jump out? Is that bluey bit important?
I'd mix it. I probably want more black than blue in it.
Yeah.
Blue will help taking it more towards a sort of steel colour.
I've got those washes as well, funnily enough. So great. I'll have a go and then let you guys know. Thanks very much for that, Tamsin.
I have a feeling we're going to go around the screen here, and you're going to add value to all us poor quality kind of slack painters as we go. This is just going to be
or just shame us completely.
Sequence of shame and embarrassment, really. Then, all right.
So,
paint rescue.
Yeah, painting rescue. Yes, yeah. So, Simon, what's been fitting in your working from home week?
So I've managed now to paint up for my ancient British, Gallic, German, French, whatever warband army. I've now done 14 chariots with the generals. They're all based up, or in the process of being based up. And I added an extra 4 or 5 bases of warband for the same army. So, because if you need more warband, what's one more warband between friends? So I think I can now do about 13 bases of warband in different combinations. And then I got all the chariots. I was meant to have done all the decals. I bought some of the Vieni Vidi Vinci decals. Chose the right ones, got the right designs for it. Ordered them in 25mm, didn't I?
Oh! Right, Tamsin, have you got a solution for that involving clever washes? 25mm things on 15mm shields. I think that's probably beyond even you. That's it.
Simon, are they shrink to fit?
Simon, you just know it's an excuse that you want to be able to then get the 25mm as well now.
Well, that was the thought of
right.
At some point, because you're going to need some warband in 25mm, so they won't go to waste, and Manchester Militia need the money anyway, so so
that's
15mm.
That's a good one. I'd buy into that 25mm army straight away, really, because now you've spent what £5-6 on the transfers. You could spending another 80-100 on figures is nothing, is it? Really?
Oh yeah, it's definitely not. No,
and those Victrix chariots are fantastic as well.
So basically, Tim, you're saying the fixtures are a sort of gateway drug for wargaming.
I think and I think we could get into a deep psychological question about when Simon's finger was hovering over the mouse button, whether deep down he really did know they were 25mm. And there's a conversation with Mrs. Simon going, well, look, I bought the transfers. It's like, it's only just buying the figures. They're only plastic.
I just don't want them to go to waste.
I don't want them to go to waste.
Yeah, because you want to be environmentally friendly. You don't waste product and anything like that. So yeah,
we're all recycling and eating all sorts of obscure food that's in the cupboard and in the thing, as we're all too scared to go out at the moment. So I think that's a very, very good thing.
This means war.
So Dave, you're still, of course, literally painting as we speak. Literally licking the brush.
The Scythians are almost finished.
Mm-hmm.
The last of the cavalry and the Thracians.
The Thracians as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the Thracian sub-command, a bit like your planes Thracian command.
Paeonian command, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that army's kind of finished and all ready to play.
Yeah, because did you see I whacked some of those photos up on Madaxeman at the middle of the week?
Very good they looked, yes.
Yeah, they look great. They're really good.
So now, Simon bought me a load of Eureka Samurai in Australia.
Oh, good deal.
I was there. It would be rude not to leverage, flying out to bring back some some miniatures.
Yeah.
I had $60 Australian left over from the noughties, I think.
From the noughties? Was the currency still valid, or had they not updated it?
No, because it's plastic, isn't it?
All right, it never dies.
No, Australians have only just recently gone to the dollar, and then got electricity. So yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm faced with the predicament of how to paint samurai.
Oh God, that's because I struggled with that for kind of 20 years, and then decided the way to paint them was to get some other bugger to do it, which was the only army I've ever had professionally painted, because it was just too intimidating for me.
Absolutely stunning army, though, Tim. I remember thought it Burton a few years ago, and you did that kind of beautiful wall thing as a obstacle.
Yeah, no, I made some kind of cobbled together terrain to go with it.
How successful has that army been in the competitions?
Well, I think in the early rounds it tends to do quite well.
And then gets rolled.
And then it gets rolled at some point. But in terms of looking cool, it's there. And then So Dave, did Simon give you some of the magic dragons and whatever they're called? Oni.
Only, yeah.
Yeah. I've got some of those as well. But I've started on the first two kind of bases, but I've by the time I've finished painting the army, I'll know how to paint samurai. It's going to be one of those.
Right. And so how are you going white undercoat or black undercoat?
They've been black undercoated. And I think I'm going colourful.
I think that's important.
Tamsin just said that the later ones were predominantly black and blackened armour.
Right. So Tamsin, look, you're going to weigh in here and tell us something astounding. Go on.
Not really. I've already had a discussion with David.
Oh, but that was offline. Have you? I guess what have you painted 2 or 3 samurai armies in the last year or something like that in your relentless painting machine kind of approach?
I haven't painted samurai.
Full stop.
Full stop.
Okay.
So I will do at some point.
You're psyching yourself.
There's opposition for my Chosun Koreans, my Ming Chinese.
Yeah. So if you've been planning it, you must have been thinking about it. So is there some Tamsin samurai painting strategy tip thing going on there? Or have you just not even got around to thinking about it yet?
I haven't even bought figures yet, so...
But you must have thought something about... If you've had a chat with Dave about painting and colours and the like.
From looking at the artwork, knowledge of the armour and so on, most of the samurai armour in sort of the later period, 16th century, so throughout most of the... So
the real tail end of
the
ancient period.
So the Imjin War...
Shogun era?
Yeah, so Shogun era and the Sengoku Jedi. I can't remember how it's pronounced.
Look, that's good enough for us. None of us are experts.
Where it was all the wars, so Oda Nobunaga, and so on. All of those.
Waving,
most of the armour in the later period was black lacquered.
Okay.
Apart from, I think it was the Takeda clan who wore reddish lacquered armour. Even on that, I don't know. Without seeing the figures, not knowing how much detail they've got on them, if they've got the lacing between the
scales, yeah,
those could be painted quite colourfully.
Okay.
And then you'll also have bits of cloth showing, particularly arms, legs.
So it's basically
that can be colourful.
It's go with kind of gloss, matte black armour, then put a gloss coat on it to give you the
and of course you've got the back banners and so on, which can be done colour to bring in the colour.
Okay. So have you kind of started with this, Dave? Have you started with a strategy then and taking all that on board, or are you just diving in, giving it a go, and seeing if it works?
I've just sort of started off with an experimental 12 figures, sort of 2 lots of bowmen. So what I've done is painted 3 or 4 of them with red lacquered armour.
Yeah.
And then I've actually started painting in the, because I'm being mad, I'm painting in the laces.
Ooh, on 15s.
To figures, yeah.
Wow.
That's hard work.
Yeah, I'll show you, look.
But that's just asking for trouble.
Even on any sort of video screen, that's not working. I think that needs a photo and a share offline. I think that's going to be a struggle.
Got some with back banners as well, which
I can see why you've got the magnifying glass. Put it in the laces. Now that's just crazy.
I know. Well, it's an experiment to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Are you going to start stringing up the bows as well?
Well, these bows are so huge, you could never know if they could be strung. Yeah.
God. Wow.
I mean, you could do it with Bostik glue. You must have known that one. When I was a kid, we did First World War fighters. You got Bostik glue to put the wiring in on the First World War fighters. You pulled the Bostik glue as a string of glue.
Yeah.
Across, and you could actually do the wiring on the planes.
Oh. Doesn't it go saggy though?
You could really do
before
that.
It dries. But actually, that would make them a little bit twangy. Then you could fire tiny little arrows.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Well, maybe that's a step too far. That's a level of detail too much.
It might be, yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah. I think Dave's up for the challenge. Come on. I want to see some Bostik glue.
Bostik strung bows.
Yeah. I've got some Bostik glue because Damien told me it's the best thing for sticking his his flags together. It says you can slide the flags if you use Bostik glue.
Yeah, actually a bit until they dry, can't you? Yeah, that's true.
Because I've always had the problem the glue sticks too quickly. Bostik glue.
Yeah. Okay. No, well, from my point of view, I've had kind of a sort of eclectic week in terms of painting. I've just been systematically in the background of doing everything else. This huge pack of 25 sheets of Magnabase arrived.
Oh wow,
which,
that's a bit of weight.
A4, yeah, from this electrical supply wholesalers that I always use and buy them far more frequently than I think I should really be getting through 25 sheets. And I've just been cutting it into strips, sort of 40mm wide strips, and gluing 2 bits of MDF, because it is self-adhesive, but it's not actually sticky enough to really glue. So I just put a little bit of white glue on the bottom of the MDF, stick it either side of a 40mm wide strip that's sort of whatever A4 is, 300mm long. Wait for that to stack them all up, wait for them to dry, which is about an hour or so, and then get them out, cut them off, and then stick another one on as you kind of get towards the middle with those strips. So it just means I've just systematically been, every couple of hours or so, I've been cutting up another dozen plus MDF bases that I've now got Magnabase on. So I think there's a possibility that I kind of work through my whole MDF pile and end up with them all being Magnabased by the end of it.
Yeah, I found life was too short for that. I just went and bought the bases already on, Magnabase already on.
Someone sells
Tiny Tin Troops.
Tiny Troops, yeah.
No, there's that old wargaming tightness that that kind of still runs through me. I feel morally obliged to. There's some things I'll pay for, but not quite.
I'd rather pay the extra 20. Save the 20p on the bases. It's been 4 hours.
Yeah, and then I've actually had a real good go at my Assyrians that were supposed to be ready for roll call, because I think that should have been last weekend. And these 28mm Assyrians from I think it's from New Line. They're 28mm range. So I finished the basing and I did the grass, the static grass yesterday on Sunday. And so once the basing's done, the sand and the gravel and the wood stain and the dry brushing, suddenly they are just so much more closer to being finished. Now I've still got a load of single figures which need to be put into units, but I've now got pretty much all the army that I would have used on bases and ready, and I just need to go through and do some washes on the figures and tidy up the last little bits that I've not done. I've been doing a few more of these 10mm strip figures from Napoleonics from Old Glory as well, which will be for my supposed, there it goes, from my supposed Napoleonic French army. There they go, they're half done, and they'll look quite cool. Hopefully, I found a packet of Arab javelin men from what's the Italian manufacturer? What's his name?
Millington.
No, not Millington. The
Legio Heroica.
Legio Heroica, yeah. And I picked some up in a sort of a teeny tiny bring and buy at the competition in Provence before Christmas that I went to, and they've been sat there in a bag. So as I was doing the drilling of the hands using the Dremel, I actually used the Dremel. After talking about last week, I drilled out some spear hands in some of the crew on the chariots in the Assyrians. So I don't want to really remember how much it cost Dremel. This week has been in action because it's drilled out 8 holes. 8. Which probably works out at like 40 quid each or something, whatever it is. But I found these little Legio Heroica Arab javelin men that have been sat in a bag meaning to be done. And while I was gluing or epoxy, 2-part epoxy gluing some of the spears in, I stuck the shields on these little Arab guys as well, which are lovely little, well, all those Legio Heroicas are lovely little figures. So they've got nice little metal javelins with a point on. They've got sort of a range of rounds and kite shields. And I nearly had a sort of panic with the 2-part epoxy, which I use for shields and stuff like that. Anything that's absolutely got to stay on. Ideally, there's an Araldite 2-part epoxy metal, liquid metal thing that is absolutely rock solid. It like becomes part of the figure. But I bought the wrong one, so I ended up with just normal 2-part Araldite. And and it took ages and ages to dry. And I thought I'd kind of got the mixing wrong, but leaving them overnight, they'd actually set solid. I guess I'm just used to glue drying a lot more. So they're now ready, but I've got that kind of problem. I like to do a lot of the undercoating with spray and do it out in the garden, but I'm not sure I'm going to get the spray can out to do 10 figures. So then I'm kind of stuck between finishing one army, that's the Assyrians, doing more on the Napoleonic 10 mil, which is just a real production line thing, or starting something brand new, which is currently 10 things. So I probably need another few hundred to justify the white paint. And then of course there's another project which I just realized while I was doing all the Magna base. I bought, I'm trying to think even where I bought it. I think it was down in Plymouth from Colonel Bill's. In their second-hand box, I had a bag of 10 mil of those main force miniatures, the lying down ultra modern stuff, where the figures are actually from Magister Militum. They're all on a little strip and they're all lying down. So sorry, not 10 mil, 6 mil.
6 mil.
So 6 mil figures normally just get crushed, and they all look like little stick men with sticks. But these lying down ones are on a kind of on a single base. So there's sort of 4 prone guys, and you can pick them up and throw them around really, and you get some with heavy weapons and stuff like that. And so I'm just going to I can do those. I can stick Magna base underneath them, leaving the main force base, and I can actually probably spray them, like a beigey color or something, real pale, or sort of skeleton bone, that sort of type of color, and possibly do these Arabs at the same time. And once you've done all these prone guys sprayed, they're pretty much done. You just need to pick out the guns and do a little bit of different color and stuff on the basing, and you've just got this instant any generic Middle East force 6 mil infantry set with heavy and support weapons and stuff like that can go along. So there's that. So I've done all sorts of odds and sods really, and it's not been particularly consistent, but at least I've got the Assyrians now within touching distance of being a proper army. So with a bit of luck, they may be appearing on a website near you by the end of the Easter holiday, I suspect.
This means war.
What else were you talking about? We've still got later on in the podcast. We've got Andy's quiz, the answers from last time, the very slightly weird music, and then hopefully a new set of questions as well. And then the other thing we were talking about with Tamsin, and Tamsin's blog has this very frequent mention of this sort of secret underground group of posties rejects who appear to meet up and do all sorts of stuff, wargaming around the country. And reading it, there's all your painting on there, which is great, but I've kind of long been fascinated by whatever the backstory is between posties rejects, and I've just kind of got visions of a random group of postmen in North London somewhere who all happen to be interested in wargaming. But I imagine it can't be that simple, can it? Oh good.
Okay, posties rejects. I'm only an honorary member. I got invited to join them for a game, and I've since been invited back a few times. Started off, I encountered it through a couple of sort of blogging friends. Ray Rousseau and Francis Lee, and they're down in this was when they were down in all down in Gravesend, because Ray lives next door to Posty.
Posty, okay.
Who has a large wargaming shed, shed set up, sort of gaming shed.
Okay.
His table, I think it can take 12 or 14 foot by, can go up to about 6 foot wide.
Wow. Okay, so that's like proper wargaming shed.
Don't have much space between the table and the walls.
Who cares? Who cares? That's all good if you got 14 by 6.
Yeah, and sort of the rejects group, mostly based around Gravesend area. few from further afield. There's one guy who's based up in Dartford.
Okay. And is Posty a postman?
I believe he was.
Oh,
he's ill health retired.
Oh, okay. But it's lost in the mist of time.
Lost in the mist of time.
No one's ever asked you. You're wargamers. You just ask each other about what you're painting, what game you played. You know nothing about anybody's history. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Good. Same as all the rest of us.
Yeah, and sort of rejects, they quite often put on games at sort of local shows.
Yeah.
Down sort of Kent. So you got Broadside in Sittingbourne, Skirmish at Sidcup.
Sidcup, yeah.
What's one? Tunbridge.
Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah,
Excalibur?
There's something in Tunbridge. The one in Tunbridge. Yeah. The one in Tunbridge. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they do that, and sort of they get together every so often for games in Postage Shed.
Okay. And they've actually got like a logo and a brand identity, and
yeah,
it's like the real thing.
They turn up to shows wearing logo t-shirt.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's good. That's got like a virtual. And are you meeting up virtually now, or has the technology not quite got to that stage yet?
I haven't gamed with them virtually.
I think gaming. We're all still. I'm not sure any of us are quite desperate enough to try gaming just yet. We can just do the chit chat and a bit of painting and imagine that the curve is flattening. As long as none of you bastards listening to this ever go out, which you won't do because you've got painting to do. So good on you. But I think as long as the curve's flattening, I think we're all hoping that we get back out before we have to try and resort to pushing stuff around and shouting at each other over the internet connection.
This means war.
Yeah, I've resorted to playing some more online games. Latest one, Mountain Blade 2, where you get to set up your whole sort of war banner, war party, everything else. So that's just come out a week ago. It's sort of medieval, running around.
Is that one of these freeware sort of games that you pay for?
No, not this
stuff?
one.
Oh,
no, this is a proper license.
Okay. So
It's
is that
good.
Historically medieval or fantasy medieval?
It's sort of like, think of historically, but someone's changed the names on a whole bunch of things, so they don't have to worry about people getting upset about the map and stuff like that. So
right.
you've got one group that is like steppe Mongols. You've got another group are sort of Arab. Another one is Bretonnian. Another one which is ex-Empire, which is sort of Byzantium-ish.
Okay.
You do trade and build up your warband and different skills and all that sort of fun stuff.
I always remember being a Fulham fan. There's in football games on the PlayStation. There's Pro Evo. Is it Pro Evo Soccer? And then there's the FIFA official one. So they're both. I think generally the Pro Evo or for a long time was thought to be the technically the better game, but they didn't have the license rights for the actual teams, most of the actual teams. So they basically had exactly the same teams, but with different names. So Fulham was the West London Whites, which is a bit of a giveaway. And for one time, and this is going back way back when, we used to have a Japanese player called Jonamichi Inamoto, and he literally was kind of the Japanese David Beckham at the time. And you always say that about foreign players, they're the most famous person, but he really was to the extent that one time, again, a long time ago, I was in Japan, walking around a shopping centre, and I saw a sports shop, and they were playing two videos in there, and I think one was, Real Madrid winning the European Cup on a loop, and the other one was Fulham winning the Intertoto Cup 15 years ago, and that was on a constant loop because this guy had scored a goal in it. But sorry, going back to the bit, Fulham were the West London Whites, but even the player names had to be something different. So someone obviously had a bit of fun with this. So instead of Jonamichi Inamoto, he was listed on the roster as I was shitter, which is a little bit unfair, but that's back in the day. But So rebranding. So is this game, is it about battles, or is it kind of an empire building?
It starts off about battles and then stays very much on battles, but your units get larger. So you start off with about 6 to 12, and then all of a sudden you've got 50, and next thing, hopefully, in a week or so's time, I'll have an army. And then you start conquering areas and stuff. So it starts off sort of trade.
Online? Could we play
it's on Steam.
Oh, it's on Steam. But is it an online game or a single player game?
There's a single player campaign. I think they do a multiplayer. It's in sort of early access at the moment.
Okay.
So
is it fundamentally the same? Is it a better battle engine than the Rome Total War stuff? That was a bit kind of pull a mob together and chase it.
Yeah, the Rome Total War one. They sort of like over-egged on the battle engine. I think it's sort of like as soon as you get so many troops on it, everything goes to a crawl.
Yeah.
I haven't gone up to the larger scale battles yet. Because this is more sort of medieval, build out a warband as opposed to recruit a unit.
Okay.
You can also progress your troops along a path as well. So it's an interesting mixture.
Right. Okay. And what about? Because I think you've connected to me on World of Tanks. But I've had a couple of drive arounds with that to try and remember how long ago it was since I played.
Yes. That's suitably amusing as well, charging around on there, remembering all the things to do and the places to hide, because people get used to certain maps and certain little tricks and everything else where they've got their tanks. And I just remember I hate light tanks.
Right. And that's what we're back down at. Because it's so long since I played, I think the maps have all changed, potentially. So it's just a world of discovery for me at the moment.
Yeah, it's certainly amusing, remembering all the different tanks and what plays well and how do you do it and everything else. It's, the usual rock, paper, scissors stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely.
This means war. This means war.
We kind of had provisionally on the list the idea of talking about how many different things are in your collection, but I think with 50 minutes gone, we may well be maybe not quite have time to fit that in. It's one of those things I did a few years ago to try and look at insurance and try and class it as a collection, because it falls in that sort of weird thing from a household insurance that it's not really portable. It's physically impossible for someone to walk away with. Well, for me, it's like 4 or 5 Bisley filing cabinets and 15 drawers as the default storage option. But I guess there's the risk of it being lost in a fire or accidents or whatever. And I know, actually, I think about floods or all these different things. And once you do actually start to work it down, it does actually add up. But then it's difficult sometimes finding insurance to class it as a collection, because it's generally sort of geared around small amounts of jewellery that could be locked away.
There is a specialist company, isn't there?
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, I've seen them a couple of shows. I can't remember what the company's name is, but they've been at Salute. I think they've been at Selwig.
That's probably worth googling then, because I guess trying to bolt it into
Wargames.
Collectioncalculator.com.
That's one.
Okay, so all right, so you put your stuff into it, it works out, and then they sell you insurance.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad result, actually, because it can quite easily start to break a normal insurance policy.
But the question is, do we want to have proof of what we've spent on our toys around in a physical copy?
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Right, no.
You actually want to know.
I still like to tell the story about the first time we went to campaign. My wife came with me, and I bought an army in the bring and buy, eighth box style of medieval loops. And I basically paid the guy 140 quid cash for them. Yeah. And so I came back from a campaign with 600 figures, which I bought. And my wife came back with more money spent on shopping than I did.
No, actually, that bring and buy it campaign, I've picked up some decent stuff from that before as well. All my 28mm sort of Vikings and Dark Age hairy foot were a bring and buy sale. I think it's a lot of Old Glory stuff from this very hard to find range on their, certainly on the UK website. I think it's like some Dark Age Scots, and it's got a really odd name on the actual website. It's like the name of a campaign or something, so you sort of miss it. But basically, they're Vikings or Dark Age speary blokes that just are a little bit more shaggy than the other ones, and you paint up the shields okay because they've got the old glory detachable standard Viking shield with divided into kind of 5 or 6 segments that paints up quite Viking-y, most of them. So it's worked out quite well, but I think that was like a 90 quid purchase where I had to kind of rush to a cash point and grab it for sort of probably the thick end of 200 quid's worth of figures. So that was, I wonder if, yeah, maybe there's I was going to say, is there a virtual bring buy? But I guess that is eBay, really, isn't it? That's not even really a question. Okay, all right. So I think at this stage then, Andy, I think it's probably time for, and then we'll do a little pause here so I can patch in the music much more easily later. It's time for the quiz.
Comment les entendre? Question. Comment les voir? Question. Le trou est sans fond? Question. La légende le dit? Question. Elle dit aussi? Question. C'est une maladie? Question.
Right, so Andy, last week you gave us 3 beardy American Civil War blokes with hats who look quite stern in pictures, probably from a 45-degree angle. And remind us again, what were the questions? And then after that, tell us what the answers are.
Okay, well, I'll give you the questions. Let's see if any of you guys know the answers. The first question was, these are all quotes attributed to Abraham Lincoln about different generals. And the first quote was, "This man fights. Find out what whiskey he drinks and send some to all my generals."
That's Grant.
Correct. It was Grant.
That's two out of 5 got that. Yeah.
The second question was, the second quote attributed to him was about a general who sent his reports, quotes, from headquarters in the saddle, quotes. And the quip attributed to Lincoln, although it might have been the rest of his army, was, why does this guy have his headquarters where other generals have their hindquarters?
Isn't that the one that did the Race to the Sea?
Sherman, would it be?
Sherman.
No, Sherman was quite good, though, wasn't he?
Sherman.
I don't think Sherman was an idiot.
No.
Well, he's quite effective.
I don't think you're saying he's an idiot. But
No, I think Lincoln was thinking he might be, but
No, his name was John Pope, and he was commander in 1862. In the
that's not the same John Pope who plays at Central London occasionally, is it?
He's aged remarkably well, if it is.
He has aged remarkably well. Yeah, that'd be great if it was the same guy. But he actually
hasn't improved.
He hasn't
improved much.
John hasn't got a beard, so it can't be him. That'd be ridiculous.
He might have shaved it off, because it'd probably gone grey by now.
No, honestly, if any of us could have one of those American Civil War beards, you'd be keeping it, wouldn't you? They've come right back into fashion. There's a whole craft beer thing. It's all good.
Mark's got one.
Yeah, but you'd have to move to Hoxton.
Yes, you would have to move to Hoxton.
Things to grow in the lockdown,
In fact, that's a possibility. Do you think there's any kind of immortal American Civil War generals living in Hoxton? Right. No, sorry, we digress. So, Andy, final question then.
Final quote was, "This is not the Army of the Potomac. This is General X's bodyguard."
McClellan.
So who was General X?
It's got to be McClellan. I'd say McClellan. It sounds like McClellan.
Yeah.
I don't even know why, but.
And the reason is because he was sitting on his arse after the Battle of Antietam instead of chasing after the rebels.
But Antietam was quite hard work, though, wasn't it? You could probably.
Well, it was the bloodiest day in American military history.
Yeah. So you probably deserve, sit back, maybe an ice cream, something like that.
Well, we're talking about 2 weeks later, not the following day.
Oh, okay. All right. 2 weeks later, maybe. Yeah, that's starting to push it. Okay. All right.
Question. Comment les voir? Question. Le trou est sans fond? Question. La légende le dit? Question. Elle dit aussi? Question. C'est une maladie? Question.
So we've had some American Civil War questions, and then now it's time for Andy's new questions. Go.
Right, the theme this week is, ooh, I think it's my leg. And there are 3 questions about Napoleonic generals who suffered leg injuries. And the first question is, General Latour Maubourg, a French general, lost his leg.
Sorry, could you say that again with a bit more French accent?
General Latour Maubourg.
Oh, I'm there. I'm transported to the battlefields of Europe. Go on.
Lost his leg, and he said to his servant, "What are you crying for, you fool? From now on, you only have to clean one of my boots."
Is this just funny, or is there a question at the end of this?
There is a question, right?
Okay, go on.
Well, which boot went?
Well, that's 50-50 now. And which battle did this take place? Was it Landsberg, Leipzig, or Lutzen?
Okay, that's the first question.
Right. I decided to make my quizzes kind of multiple choice. At least you got a chance of getting it, even if you've never heard of the.
Well, I think we'll see if there's any feedback at all from any of the people who listen to this to see whether they go, "No, Andy, we want this more difficult." But no, let's go multiple choice.
The second question was, at which battle did Napoleon say to Marshal Ney, "You're covered in blood," to which Ney replied, "None of it's mine except this bit where this bullet hit me on the knee." Again, was that Landsberg, Lutzen, or Leipzig?
Okay, all right.
And the third question is, towards the end of the Battle of Waterloo, who said to the Duke of Wellington, "By God, sir, I've lost my leg," to which Wellington replied, "By God, sir, so you have."
I think we all know that one.
Possibly. No, you're overestimating our Napoleonic era. No, that's three good questions, actually, Andy. And I like the alliterative multiple choice on the first two particularly. So that's excellent. Good. So we'll bring you those answers next week.
Question, comment les voir? Question, le trou est sans fond. Question, la légende le dit. Question, elle dit aussi. Question, c'est une maladie. Question.
So then, as we're kind of getting to the hour mark yet again, and starting to wrap up, has anybody got anything that they've got planned? Anybody for next week on the painting pile? Anything coming in, or any burning wargaming topics that they've been following in the last week that they want to share? Go around again. Start with you, Andy. Top left for me.
Well, there is something I'd like to share. This week it's the Jewish Passover, and the chief rabbi normally gives a broadcast to the nation about the Passover. Now, the Passover was basically the story of the Exodus from Egypt in, funnily enough, the book of Exodus, where Pharaoh's army chased the Israelites into the Red Sea and then drowned. And the message I would derive from that is that if you send light chariots into difficult terrain, you get what you deserve.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's true in many, many rule sets, and clearly has been for possibly at least 5,000 years. So that's a very, very good one. And I think there's probably, I suppose, imagine if Phil Barker had actually written the Old Testament, how complicated that actually might have been.
That's got to be a theme for a competition. Every army has to contain at least 6 light chariots.
That's got to be one for the future for sure.
Oh yeah. I can do it now. You can do it. He's on.
Right, Tamsin, what's in your painting pile, or what have you been?
Well, I'll be continuing on with Wars for Roses. So for the next few days, it'll be working on the longbowman, and then the billman, then the spearman.
You're saving the 1 or 2 units mounted till the very end.
Yes.
Yeah. It's those bloody horses and the straps. It's just such a pain in the ass, isn't it? It's always best to wait till the end.
I don't know. I start with the cavalry for an army.
Okay, but there's so few in this one. You've got to wade in with the billman.
Yeah.
Okay, so Peter, other than applying a mix of blue and black ink to some gold-painted knights at high speed, sounds like you may have already been doing that. Yeah, unblinging your knights. What's on the list for you this week?
Well, once I unbling them, and provided we've got time, I've basically, because the War and Empire Kickstarter piece, I've got basically all the dismounts. So I've been playing in the medievals, either an Arab army or a Norman Sicilian type army. Quite enjoyed them, but it's what we learnt from the Worlds and a couple of other competitions is you've got to have the dismounts. So I went ahead and got all the dismounts that I could ever want for all those armies. So effectively, the next competition I go to, I'm going to be effectively doubling up because it just gives you that extra flexibility when everyone goes into that mad elephant mass. So I've got to slowly work my way through there. So that's one of the benefits of having a garden and being able to go out and sort of spray all the bases.
Okay, all right. So the garden-free Mr. G'day Simon. No spraying for you, I'm guessing.
I've got a deluxe balcony, all 1 meter by 1 meter of it. So that's where I do my spraying. But I mean, looking on, it's an army I don't need to do, but someone has a sale on. So
oh God, who's that? Who's that? Should you tell us? Do you want to tell us?
Have they got 28 mil sort of like stickers on them?
Well, it's not 20 mil warband. That'll be next time.
Okay.
No, but Lancashire Games they've got a sale on, and they've picked up the Venexia range of miniatures.
Yes, they have, haven't they? Yeah.
And I'm looking at the Ottoman Turks for ADLG Renaissance.
Okay.
And they've got some nice heavy cavalry with barding and pistols, stuff like that. And they've got the Janissary heavy artillery with, the Turks did these great big guns.
Guns.
So you need more artillery. Not that I don't have enough in all my armies. They've got assorted Janissaries advancing with assorted thrusting weapons.
Okay.
Oh no, the sales stopped. No.
What? No.
They've gone up to £3.10 for 10 figures. I can't afford that.
Oh, 30p a figure. And those figures, because those figures are enormous, aren't they? The Venexia ones. I think you struggle to mix them with anybody, really. But
yeah, I haven't bought any of the Venexia ones, so I was thinking about doing that, but sales off.
I'm saying that because it's sort of a folk memory, but no, I'm pretty sure they're quite big. It's probably worth checking online for some comparison pictures, but even so they were 30p a figure in the sale. Wow.
No, they're 30p now.
30p.
Yeah, so they're a pack of Janissaries with bow, for example, 10 figures, £3.10. On sale, they were £2.64, I think it was.
Wow, wait. So if I'd known about that, I could have got some better Janissaries than the substandard ones that Dave managed to slough off on me when he kept the really nice ones out of the Old Glory 15s pack. Right. Okay. So Dave, other than finishing off Scythians and trying to learn how to paint samurai, what's on your list this week?
Well, keeping going with the samurai, but also I've got some Janissaries.
You've got some more Janissaries?
Well, Sean was selling his, so I got his Khorasan ones.
Wow.
Which are better than the Old Glory ones.
And that's saying that you've got the best of the Old Glory ones, and I've got the substandard ones, and you've now got some more which are better than the ones you kept and offloaded the others on me. I feel so good about this.
Any of the Janissaries. I've never seen a good Janissary figure, quite frankly.
So the Khorasan ones, do they meet your?
They're okay.
They're okay.
It's not what I see as a Janissary, but then I've got a historical thing. They're okay. They're good. They're better than the others.
Although actually, to be fair, Janissaries is a funny one, isn't it? Because I sort of feel they should be uniform, but I also feel they should have a lot of individual personality because they were.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really get my head around whether they should have been unique or slave soldiers or uniformed.
I think they should be more chainmail, and I think they should be more armoured. With a, but then it's just a feeling I have. But then, that's just an image thing I have of them. But I mean, that's another army which I've got to do. But this week I'm going to be painting samurai.
Right.
I've just done these, and I've just dry brushed onto the armour, onto the scale armour. It looks quite good, actually.
Okay. So basically, if you're painting 15mm samurai, and this time next week when we do our little video chat to record this podcast, you'll be like boss-eyed and kind of grinding your teeth, probably.
Yeah, probably. Absolutely true.
And
I'll have probably done 3 bases.
Okay, all right.
3 bases of laces that you've picked out individually.
That's the way. Well, I don't know. We try brushing them; they don't look too bad.
Yeah. Certainly, from my point of view, I just want to get this sort of army of Assyrians beaten and done and in the box, and I think I'm still in 2 minds whether I'm going to manage to finish all the extra figures for the extra units which aren't for the list that I was trying to put together for roll call. But I think certainly that if I can spray these main force infantry, that'll be like a project achieved. which will be sort of cheating because it's super quick. And then I do really have to knuckle down and start writing up the 6 battle reports from Cold Wars in the States that I went to before lockdown started, because there's all sorts of mad shenanigans to put into that. So there's a lot of animated GIFs and the like that I need to work into those reports. So the layout is kind of done on the web pages, but I've actually got to write the words and put the captions in. But I think with Easter coming up, bizarrely, that is actually when working from home does stop and we can all switch off computers and start doing normal stuff for a long weekend. And I think, one of the things I'm actually looking at doing is taking, daft as it sounds, taking some holiday from work, because it's just so intense at the moment with just being online all the time. I almost feel like I need to take a day just to switch the damn computer off. Which
that's I think, what I did today. I just took today off just to give me a break.
No, that's great. I think it's really important to do that at the moment.
Yeah.
Really important. Even though we're just going to be doing the same old shit that we're doing right now, but
it's different though. It's wargaming related, not work related.
Exactly. And with good weather coming up, that's the frightening thing. Though, good weather, a long weekend. What I need to not do is get tempted to suddenly start making a massive plastic Arab army, and because I think I've got 4 days when I might be able to spray it white in the garden. I do not want to do that. And if I come back on Bank Holiday Monday and I've done that, you guys can kick me off this podcast and stop it. I've got more than enough to get finished and clear some decks before that whole world of nightmare happens.
But you're just prepping for when the rain comes in. That's all.
I've got too much stuff that's already prepped. That's the nightmare.
Tim, I've already sent you the link to save you time, so you can actually stop having.
I've got more than enough bases to do my next 2 50mm armies already. I've got a Spartacus army and I've got a Hungarian army in 50mm to do. Never mind all the odds and sods to finish off before I chunk into.
You might as well undercoat them with some spray then.
Peter, the answer's no. The answer is just no. Right. But look, thanks guys and girls. That's all 6 of us on the screen here. So our new special guest Tamsin, who's given us some fantastic painting tips and a bit of insight into World of Posties. Another great quiz from Andy and some I'm just wondering where we're going to go from, like, if in week 2 we're in great leg injuries of history, or in fact great leg injuries of the Napoleonic Wars, which is probably one of my favourite Osprey books out there, and some other sort of weird painting stuff. So thank you guys and girls all for coming along, and hopefully anybody listening to this who's still listening after 3 episodes is finding this reasonably entertaining. I did have a bit of feedback online from someone, which is always welcome, saying they listened to this whilst queuing in the socially isolated distance, trying to get into Tesco's. And by the time they'd listened to it all, they were then allowed in to go shopping, which is a ringing endorsement. Really, you can't say any fairer than that. So I hope all of you people out there have enjoyed this, and we will endeavour to reconvene in another week and fill you in on whatever rubbish we've been up to. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and see you all next week.